Video game bosses can create some great memories, taking down a gigantic tyrant can be pure ecstasy. But when the formula is wrong it can leave a really bad taste in your mouth. I found myself thinking back over some of the most painfully annoying bosses I've come across recently and thought I'd make a little list. Note that these bosses are annoying, they aren't necessarily difficult. Finally, a quick disclaimer before I get onto the list, this is obviously just my opinion, feel free to chime in with your own in the comments section. RuneScape, Tease Talk Jad, or simply Jad, is the boss of the fight pits in RuneScape. It's one of the strongest enemies in the game, but that isn't why it's featured on the list. After a week of non-stop Bachelor news, Chris Harrison announced Saturday that he will be stepping aside for a period of time. This decision comes after backlash and calls for his firing in response to his 13-minute defense of The Bachelor's controversial contestant Rachael Kirkconnell in an interview with Rachel Lindsay earlier this week. The conversation came after the current Bachelor stars and, from what spoilers tell us, Matt James's final rose old social media posts surfaced in which she appeared to be dressed as a Native American and attending a plantation-themed ball. Kirkconnell apologized in her own Instagram statement. Reaching Jad requires defeating over 250 enemies back-to-back without coming out for supplies. What you take in is what you can use for the battle, and those resources will be whittled down even before you face Jad. You can't use any summoned familiars either, and if you die then you have to start the whole run again. Dead Rising – convicts who can forget opening the shopping center doors in the original Dead Rising to be greeted by a small group of convicts armed with a jeep, a heavy machine gun with pinpoint accuracy, and a baseball bat? The convicts on the face of it aren't really all that fearsome, because the driver usually rams into something and has to reverse, providing you with an opening to take them down. Unfortunately, you're likely to encounter them pretty early on in the game, meaning that you're probably armed with basic items and have limited character upgrades. After you take them out you'll probably feel great and will let out a huge sigh of relief, right up until the first time you re-enter the courtyard to discover that they respawn. The disappointment of discovering that they respawn is a real kick in the teeth after that initial hard-fought victory. You'll likely become pretty adept at avoiding them as a result. The one good thing about the fact that they respawn is that they essentially provide access to an infinite supply of heavy machine guns. Lost Planet 2 Red Eye Lost Planet 2 took the Lost Planet series in a new direction, by focusing on a 4-player co-op experience, which is a key reason that this particular boss fight is such a chore. Red Eye is a huge worm-like acrid that you battle while driving a train. But not before Harrison had a conversation with Lindsay, in which he spoke about the cancel culture woke police coming for Kirkconnell. He's since apologized twice. That train is equipped with a huge artillery cannon, a weapon so large it's separated into 6 sections. Gun control, for fine aiming, also allows the turret to move slightly. Charging station, increases the power of each shell. Manual loader, where you load up the bullets. Crane loader, for loading in a special type of shell. Turret turning device, turns the turret more quickly. Coolant panel, basically fixes the turret when it overheats. The turret comes with no instructions, so working out all of the above is a case of trial and error. But today he announced his stepping aside. In his own words, by excusing historical racism, he defended it. Now, Harrison says he's stepping aside for the time being, at least. The Red Eye also quickly digs up and down into the desert sands, meaning that you have to turn the turret pretty quickly to keep on track of it. I have consulted with Warner Brothers. If you don't have any human companions along for the ride then things become doubly difficult because you have to rely on the AI, which it turns out is only programmed to stand and shoot the beast with flimsy machine guns, rather than help you load, aim, or power up the turret. This fight is without a doubt one of the most epic battles in the entire series, but if you're playing solo then it's also likely to be the most frustrating ones, and even with human teammates it'll try your patience. The icing on the cake is that there's one final attack after you kill the creature that requires you to realign the turret. If you're not prepared for this eventuality in advance then you will die and will have to do the whole level again. Sekiro, Guardian Ape. Those of you that have played Sekiro will know that the majority of bosses can usually be taken down with some dirty tactics and/or perfect parrying. The Guardian Ape is no different in that respect, and I definitely had more trouble with other bosses, but it stands out as annoying for a couple of reasons. It's those few seconds, between thinking you've done it and realizing that it's about to get a lot worse, that really mentally screw with you, and ABC and will be stepping aside for a period of time and will not join for the After the Final Rose special, he wrote on Instagram. It's unknown at this time how long he will be gone or when he's coming back. In the meantime, everyone's wondering who's going to step into his shoes, whether it's temporarily, as implied, or permanent. In his second form, the guardian ape sprays blood at you, which can cause death from terror. He also has some really weirdly timed combos that are difficult to deflect. But above all, it's his reanimation that makes the guardian ape most frustrating. EverQuest, Terraform aka the Sleeper. Terraform is a godlike dragon from EverQuest, an online MMORPG. We're here to speculate, so you don't have to. So, who could replace Chris Harrison as the Bachelor host? 1. JoJo Fletcher. JoJo Fletcher is the most obvious choice. She stepped in for Harrison when he had to leave for a few episodes during this past season of The Bachelorette, and she's done hosting gigs for other television shows. It took 200 players around 3 hours to kill it. Now, clans banding together to kill giant bosses online is nothing special or that surprising, especially nowadays, but Terraform was slightly different in that it was literally impossible to kill him because at roughly 25% health the dragon despawned. Over the weekend several guilds gathered on Rallos to fight with the Sleeper. Unfortunately, their encounter was cut short due to an apparent bug. She is also a Bachelor success story, and ABC loves to flaunt those. 2. The bug concerned an NPC in the zone that appeared to have been causing the Sleeper to not focus on the player characters. The decision was made at the time to end the event. Further investigation has only served to make it unclear if this was a real issue or not. EverQuest had around 400,000 players at the time, many of whom wanted to know what would happen if they managed to kill Terraform. They were understandably grumpy to discover that it didn't matter how hard they'd tried or how well they'd played together as a group, all that effort was in vain because SOE made it impossible to achieve. Wells Adams. Yet another obvious choice. Wells Adams has become the second host of sorts on Bachelor in Paradise as their bartender. In response to the inevitable backlash, SOE respawned Terraform and clans were finally able to team up and kill it. More articles. He comes from a hosting background, he's charming as can be and would provide the empathy needed in a position like hosting The Bachelor. Plus, this has been something people have wanted since before this scandal. Twitter seems game. Hope Wells Adams is ready to step up and replace Chris Harrison on #TheBachelor. Mary Kate at MaryKateAdams10. February 11, 2021. Wells Adams should replace Chris Harrison as The Bachelor host. If you agree, say I, MK at MegKeen_. February 11, 2021. 3. Ben Higgins. If anyone has been groomed to take over for Harrison, it would be former Bachelor Ben Higgins. Remember when he got a reality show after his season? He's their golden boy and he doesn't rock the boat. I could see Ben Higgins being the new host if Chris is replaced permanently. Gencho at Genencho. February 13, 2021. 4. Ashley Yaconetti Hybon. Ashley Yaconetti Hybon is the female Higgins, the franchise can't get enough of her. She's also a Bachelor success story, albeit an unconventional one, and truly is the marker of the change in how contestants interact with the media. Yaconetti Hybon was one of the original Bachelor Nation influencers, and while several past contestants who've leveraged their time on the show into an influencing career have distanced themselves from Bachelor Nation, Yaconetti Hybon has stayed a card-carrying member of Bachelor Nation. And they may want to reward that dedication. Having appeared on so many iterations of the show, not many know it better than she does. 5. Rachel Lindsay. As of right now, it seems Rachel Lindsay isn't interested. She said after this week, she's done with the franchise once her contract is up. But, that doesn't mean production won't ask her. And also, she would be fantastic at the job, if her performance on Ghosted is any indicator. She's the first pick for countless Bachelor fanatics on Twitter. Cast Rachel Lindsay as host. https://t.co/Dewey7lacuniu5, at Lee Z Mani. February 13, 2021. I would love Rachel Lindsay to do it, but Bachelor Nation wants to blame her for everything, so I just want her protected.
Plus she probably doesn't even want to do it. Ida Skinner at I_D_AAAAAA. February 13, 2021. Rachel Lindsay at the Rach Lindsay has my vote to replace Chris Harrison at Chris B. Harrison as the host of #The Bachelor at Bachelor ABC franchise. Maximus at a Pulsifer, February 13, 2021. 6. Mike Johnson production could make it up to those upset about the fact that Mike Johnson wasn't made the first Black Bachelor by giving him the hosting gig, one he would be especially fantastic in. He's already taking hosting gigs. Twitter agrees, at Milc11374 at Fleissmeister replace Chris Harrison with Mike Johnson. This franchise needs a warm smile, diversity and someone who cares and will articulate themselves very well. Thanks Management #The Bachelor, Claire Crawley and Ashley Spivistan at Shanice_Alcina February 13, 2021. Can Chris Harrison be fired and replaced by Mike Johnson? That's a show I'd watch. #The Bachelor, Alyson Ritter at AlleyCakes666 February 10, 2021. Can we get Mike Johnson as the new Chris Harrison since we didn't get him as The Bachelor? Beach at Amber_Beach February 11, 2021. 7. Jenny Mollen. There's a good chance ABC will venture outside of Bachelor Nation for its replacement, and why not Jenny Mollen? She's got a ton of personality, is a publicly passionate member of Bachelor Nation and viewers responded well to her. They've trusted her with hosting Bachelor-related shows before RIP, Bachelor in Paradise, After Paradise, and she cameoed on The Bachelorette with her husband Jason Biggs. She knows the ropes.